But no, Beth York goes crashing down. Determination, the suffering, the ability to... And she's unleashed everything in this attack. See just how much that win means to him. All the marbles. Kayla versus Allison, and to the line. Kayla Laguna takes the victory.
Hello, everyone, and happy Halloween. I am Beth York, and I'm going to be taking you through the CVRcade World Cup Racing Zone T tonight. We have got 4 races in the Omnium, starting with Kayla's mountain bike track. We are on course right now, watching the riders warm up. You can see we've got Homer and Marty and Daniel and Frank and Anish and Kayla all in the pen. Allison's out on the track warming up. This is going to be a crazy race. We've got 8 laps, one-time multiplier with, of course, quantum shift ability and uncrashable ability for our low skill event. But then racers will have to stay sharp for the races coming up, because it'll be Temple Run, and then it will be followed by sudden lane change and wrapping things up tonight on Dark Matter Spire. So let's check in with the racers right now with Kayla Laguna, one of our top racers that we've been seeing week after week on this Halloween. 3 minutes to go. Looks like she's got her Mickey Mouse ears, CVRcade. Kayla, you're looking sharp. How do those ears add you some extra watts?
Oh, you know it always. It's just like, thought I'd throw in. People are way too good with the costumes today, so I thought I'd throw on something.
No, you're looking good. Well, we're starting on the course that you've designed, and we have the ability on of uncrashable and quantum shift and a comeback kid. So how we've seen this in the last couple of races, the use of comeback kid. How do you see that being played out on course in this first race?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. In the previous races today earlier, I had some bad starts, so I wasn't able to catch the group, so I was using the comeback kit in that way just to catch up back up to the main path. But, you know, just there's a lot of different ways you can use it, honestly. So we're going to have to see with those gameplay tactics if are people just going to wait and kind of save it to the end and use that momentum from the comeback kit to go forward, or save it in another time. Not sure. So there's a lot of different ways to use it, but we'll see.
Well, wishing you good luck. Hope that those gold sparkly ears give you plenty of extra watts. I'll let you get in with your team chat. Maybe we can check in with Moti. Moti, are you available? Hello, welcome.
Thanks. How's it going? Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. So let me guess, you are Curious George's friend in the yellow hat.
I am.
That wasn't a guess. We all know you told me. Now we know that Kayla's got some extra watts on her head there. Does that hat come off in the race, or are you going to wear that the whole time?
This hat is super aero. Everybody better watch out. My CVA.
And plus, if you crash, right, it protects. It's a protection measure. And how about your tie?
Absolutely. The tie. Each of these dots actually will operate my power-ups. They are hooked up via Bluetooth to the computer, so if the keyboard falls off, I've got the high-tech tie to count on. So I'm excited. This is going to be a crazy race. 8 laps of Kayla's mountain track with quantum shift. I've never done this track with quantum shift on before, so it's going to be awesome. It's going to be wild.
Well, buckle up. It's also going to be fast. So we've got Uncrashable, we've got Corner Caper, and we've got Quantum Shift in the Comeback Kid. 20 seconds to go. I'll let you get spun up to go. Here we are. You can see Homer will chat with you at the end of the race. Welcome to the racing, Homer. It's nice to see you. I see the beard growing there. Hey, and we've got Daniel also in the pen warming up. Daniel will come back and chat with you. Good luck to you. Thank you for racing tonight. And we have Allison out on course as well. You can see her spinning up, coming up out of the gate, out of the starting line. And she is digging in fast. She is in it to win it. You can see Modi spinning up here, trying to hang on, not letting go of anyone's wheel here. They are on the attack. Look at them go. The two of them, Madi and Allison, side by side, up the first little bump. Daniel coming in behind, and Kayla closing in the gap there. Frank also coming up. They got a little bit stretched out at the beginning, as they normally do. But if you don't let that 1 or 2 seconds turn into 3 or 4, you can kind of connect and benefit from that draft. When Quantum Shift is on, you can phase through other riders. And when Quantum Shift, you can see in the bottom of the screen that these guys are, on the riders list. You can see, Kayla uses the Comeback Kid right here, trying to make connection with their group. She's about 3 or 4 seconds back. You got to use it before you lose it, because if she lets that gap get too big, she's not going to have that opportunity to use the Comeback Kid. The Comeback Kid gives you 367 extra watts for 45 seconds, or until you pass the first rider. So she is digging in. That front group is getting some momentum. Here we are on board with Homer, just a couple seconds back from Baptista, one of our newer riders here. Homer is looking to try to close that gap and see if he can get that 3 or 4 seconds and make connection with Baptista. We've got Daniel here digging in hard. You can see him staying in the group. He is holding on steady. He's been in racing probably about 3 or 4 weeks now. He's been coming along. He's been figuring everything out, and he's been moving his way up the ranks. It's really great to see Daniel out here on course, hanging on to that front group. Not letting go. Allison, Madi, Kayla, Daniel, Baptista, just a few seconds back in the chase group here. So we are going to see it's going to be a duel between these 3 or 4 riders. And it does look like Kayla made that Comeback Kid did allow her to make the connection back. So she used it. She did say in our pre-interview that she was going to see what the dynamics brought, how people were going to play it. She didn't want to lose connection in that first part. And so now she is back benefiting from the draft. You can see Baptista also dropping the power-up Comeback Kid in the right-hand side on your screen. You can see the nearby riders list. You can see that animation trying to connect, if that can make that 8 or 7 seconds up to try to get to that group. And this is the time to use it, because if they pass one person, boom, it deactivates until you get to that next rider. So benefiting it within 10 or 12 seconds. And so close. I'm not sure it's going to be enough, but this is a heroic effort. You can see that effort being put in. And then Daniel here, Daniel did lose 3 or 4 seconds. This might be a good time for Daniel to activate his Comeback Kid with just 4 or 5 seconds to the group. If he hasn't already done it, he can try to get back to connection, back on board with Allison. Super focused. She always brings a show. She's got her Mora the Duck on the front of her keyboard there, arrow helmet, sunglasses on. This is her game face. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not Allison in costume. This is Allison Cognition, team rider, team leader, with her normal attire, her arrow helmet, mean racing skills. Looks like Daniel did go ahead and activate that Comeback Kid power up. Again, that gives you an additional massive power for 45 seconds. So if you look at the gap between Kayla and Daniel, all right, he's closing it down. He's going to come around. What he wants to make sure he does these slingshots on. He doesn't want to hit any other riders so that he would lose his momentum. Within 3 or 4 seconds, keep it going, Daniel. Keep it going. You still have that power. Keep the pedal down. Keep the pedal down. 2 seconds, you can see it. Make sure you step to the lane and don't bump the wheel. You want to carry that momentum around that front group. Well done by Daniel. Again, one of the newer riders that is really like, step to the right, step to the right, step to the right, Daniel. And he bumps. And he does lose a little, comes right through. Oh, that's right. There's Quantum Shift. Look at me. He's like, Beth, you're so wrong. I'm not going to bump. We've got Quantum Shift on here. See that smile? He's like, yes, Beth, don't mess me up. Don't tell me the wrong thing. I wanted the draft. Well played, Daniel. Super job. Super job. Kayla here in the mix, getting serious here. I think those ears did bring her extra watts. I think they also act as antennas. So she's also receiving Bluetooth messages from her DS Frank, who's also, I thought he was in this race. I think he might not be racing. I think he's doing a workout here on course. He's not in the front group. He might be playing it. He just goes through there. Might be playing it for Temple Run to try to help Kayla in Temple Run. And she doesn't need much help right here. She's doing okay on her own. So maybe Frank's saving his legs to help her in Temple Run. Up out of the saddle here, 2.4 kilometers to go for this lead group here. Now, you think sometimes these races are short and they're easy, but 8 laps on the mountain bike course, there are a couple bumps when you come across the line that you really feel on the trainer. And then, of course, there's another a bump in the road right before you come around the last corner to the finish line. You can see them rolling right now up and down here on this side angle view. They're feeling that resistance on their pedals. So they're on smart trainers. The resistance in the game is being fed to their trainers, and they can feel those upturns in the road, in the climbs, and Allison's up out of the saddle. So they're all benefiting from the draft. The person on the front is taking in the most wind, and the other riders coming in behind them are benefiting from the draft. So a lot of times you're really trying to just time your power and make sure that you're not surging to the front and trying to conserve as much energy, because you are going to need it for the finish. And this is always a firework of finish. It's about timing your sprint, using the lead out, using that draft. But it does look like Kayla is mounting an attack. 600 equalized watts. Kayla, that's over her rear view mirror here. You can see she's breaking away from the rider, which, let me tell you, is not easy to do. But if there's going to be a time to do it, this is the time to do it. We've got 2 laps to go. Now, Modi uses his comeback kid, does not want Kayla to get away from him. This is excellent use of that power up. He sees Kayla making a break. He knows he only has 1.3 kilometers to go. It's now or never. He is not going to let her get away. He is also, you can't see it on screen, he is a team cognition rider. Allison is his teammate. So the two of them here are in the front. You can see there with that. You can't see his kid right there. He's got his kid on under there. I know he's digging in. Modi, 600 equalized watts, 188 on his heart rate, digging in, knowing that Kayla already used her comeback kid, knows that this is an opportunity to try to run away with it. You can see Kayla leaning a little to the left. She's starting to feel it. Can she catch Modi? I believe Modi. Can she? I believe she can. 0.8 kilometers to go. Just 1 lap to go. She comes in hot. She steps around. She doesn't want to, she goes, phases right through him on the quantum shift. I keep forgetting quantum shift is on as an ability, and I raced this earlier today. Must be all the Halloween candy that I've been eating. All right, so Kayla is not going to let Modi get away, right? He is 3 or 4 seconds up the road here. 900 equalized watts for Modi. And then we can see Allison drops her comeback kid, 1,100 equalized watts. She absolutely nails it. 0.4 kilometers to go on this little kicker. That's the place to use it. You're going to get the most benefit of the speed. She's climbing up this hill. She slingshots around, and then Modi and Allison both in the front here with 5 seconds between them. They are teammates here. It would be nice if they could get the 1-2, and I think that's going to happen here with just 200 meters to go. Modi's out in front. Yep, he's going to do it coming around the corner, and then Allison's going to take second, and Kayla's going to come third unless something miraculous happens. Here comes Modi for the finish, for the win, hands in the air for the yellow man in the hat. Yeah, and then Allison comes through, and then Kayla in third. And then Daniel's not far behind Kayla. Look at that victory lap. She lets out a deep breath. That was a lot of work. Well timed on that comeback kid. Kayla comes along. Now Daniel is going to hold 4th position. He does have a big gap on Homer, who's about 5 or 6 seconds down. So Daniel's really played this well. Top 5 spot. That's like when I think about a good placement on CVRcade, top 5, man, that is awesome. Great job, Daniel. Finish it off to the end. And then you can go ahead and pick up some more points in the next race on Temple Run. Well played. We've got Homer not too far back that we'll be seeing coming across the line. This is the replay right here as we are on board with Modi. You can see it was between him and Kayla and Allison. Daniel was once in the mix, but he was watching what was happening. We did see an attack from Modi to try to shake Kayla. Kayla answered, was able to close it back down, but in the end, we saw Allison drop her comeback kid further down and walk away with leaving everyone behind, slingshotting through. And it was Modi that came across the line first, and then Allison made her way. You can see here as he comes across the line and he takes the win, and the hands go in the air. Well done to our friend here. He was pressing the buttons on the tie. I feel like those worked for you, Modi. Those were great.
That was awesome. It was all teamwork. Allison and Daniel and I got a great break at the beginning and forced Kayla to use her power up early. So it was just a matter of waiting. And then I timed things pretty well on the second to last climb, and then Allison got her power up going. Daniel created some space for me to use mine. It was great teamwork. A lot of fun.
I am really enjoying watching all of this teamwork take place in the game. And one of the things that I've seen, you've been with CVRcade for quite some time now. Allison has as well, and now bringing Daniel into the mix here. I think he did a superb job for his team, and it was really fun to watch that unfold. We've got just about 2 minutes for this next race to start. So with Temple Run, we have 3 laps, a 2.5 multiplier. It's 14.4 kilometers, uncrashable as an ability, 1 weight lifted power up, 1 razor's edge, 1 path of least resistance. Talk to me about how you see the strategy playing out.
I think it's going to take a lot of teamwork. 13 kilometers doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. There's that climb, a lot of moving back and forth. It's going to be strategic, and I think Kayla especially is going to be looking for some payback. So I think it's going to hurt from the gun. We're going to see a lot of power-ups right at the start line.
Well, you're on top going into this. You've got Allison right behind you and Kayla on the 3rd spot on the leaderboard right now. I imagine Daniel's not going to be far behind. So as a team, you guys already discussed your tactics?
Oh, we use the in-game audio and special cognition telepathy that we've been practicing. So we didn't even have to talk at all on that last race, even though we could have. We were just sort of in a mind meld and working together, and we'll see. We've got the channel ready to open at the hit of a button, and the better we're doing, the less talking we'll probably need to do, and the inverse is true as well. So watch my right hand. We'll see.
Okay. Well, I like that you played the tie. That worked out really well. So 35 seconds to go. Quick with Kayla, quick words. I don't know if Kayla is able to, she's got audio working. Kayla, you ready? You're gonna take over these cognition riders in about 20 seconds?
Yes, me and these extra watts with the mouse ears, we're going to do everything we can. So
all right, 15. Okay, 15 seconds. Good luck, Kayla. I know you have to manage your audio there. So, all right. So again, 8 seconds. We are on Temple Run. You can see Allison warming up. Team Cognition. She's got Daniel. She's got Modi in the mix. You can see that Frank is now in play here with Kayla out of the gate. They are out hot and fast. You can see that, wow, quantum shift used. That might have been an accident. I don't know. The first 10 seconds of the race, you are able to have the quantum shift, but maybe I'm wrong. When Frank drops a power up, it's very intentional. We've got Frank and Kayla on the front. Marty doesn't want to get held up there, so he's also dropping quantum shift, also dropping the razor's edge simultaneously. The razor's edge, you can see that animation there, allows you to cut through the air aerodynamically. It allows you to gain more speed, and that's the quantum shift there that you're seeing there, and that prevents blocks so that you can phase through people. So what can happen is you can get caught up in congestion, or you can use your quantum shift to phase through one of your teammates, as Kayla just did, using Frank as the lead out, and then Frank can kind of run defense with Team Cognition in the back and let Kayla maybe get some running room here. You can see there on the helicopter view that Kayla is all alone. She's about 3 seconds, but Marty has just made his way around Frank, and it was looking like Frank was trying to control his pace a little bit, trying not to let Marty get by, but Modi has got back. I keep saying your name wrong, Modi. I'm going to get it right. I swear I'm going to get it right. My muscle memory. You just keep going. Kayla's making about 3 seconds up the road from Modi. Frank, about 4 seconds back. Baptista up there. Good job, Baptista, one of our newer riders. Thank you for riding. You are just a couple seconds back from Frank. Maybe you can make up that gap and you can work together. Like to see that. But right now, Allison using the wheel of Baptista, saying, okay, I'm going to just like hang in here and see if we can't work together. And then again, weight lifted is dropped by Modi, and he is like using that. Only has 1 on this 3-lap race. So if you are counting power-ups, you can kind of know who's using what. You only get 1 of those. But what Modi knows that not everyone might not know is that this is the time. You can't let Kayla get too much running room. If you let Kayla get too much running room, she is gone. gone, 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 gone. So now Monty's like, I'm not going to let her go. I'm not going to let her go. So we saw her racing earlier, super strong racing. This course, she did fabulous. She was working in the pen with Frank on the track, but also got a little hung up with me. So now this is her race to win. She wants it. She didn't win the earlier heat. She did an awesome job for her teammates and hanging up some other teammates, but right now, Kayla is on a mission, getting those extra watts from her Halloween mouse ears, looking strong. But Baptista's not too far back, and either is Allison. We've got Homer a little bit further back. Homer Thompson, the CCC rider, out on course, and this is Allison, of course. Now, Homer, I know, has been riding with me on my recovery rides. We've been hanging out. He told me he was growing this beard, so I don't know if that's his costume, if that's your Santa costume. You're starting to grow. It's looking good, Homer. Yeah, that's right. I love it. You can grow that beard pretty fast. So one of our seasoned racers who's been riding CVRcade for a long time, very experienced and super strong and steady. Doesn't look like he has any of his teammates in here tonight. We did see his teammate Ben racing earlier, but it's always he has thousands of screaming fans. This man, Homer. We got you on stream, so we're gonna not disappoint your fans. All right, let's go back to the front here with Kayla. Kayla and Modi, and looks like Baptista is about 10 seconds back with Allison. So now what can happen here is when, and he drops the power up. That is the path of least resistance here. So that is, he's using that opportunity here to get himself up over the climb and try to see if he can't get Kayla's legs a little flushed out, but Kayla is taking the opportunity here as the road flattens out to take the draft, kind of go under the waterfall. And now this is a deceiving course, because every time I get to this point at the waterfall and I think, whew, boy, that climb is over. It's not over. Look at them chasing each other's draft and playing little games like, nope, you can't have it. You can't have it. We did see that Modi has lost his yellow hat. I don't blame you. I wore a crown earlier and somehow that managed to stay on despite my my aggressive bicycle riding, but a hat that size is hard to hang on to. So here they are side by side, neither of them benefiting from the draft here. Like both of them saying, nope, not going to have it. So we're going to just stay side by side. So there are some new dynamics that came into the game the last week, and ooh, that's it. Modi says, no, I'm not going to play that game. I'm going to just not let you control the pace on me. And Kayla comes through. And so when you do have uncrashable on as an ability, as we do in this course here, you can bump the other rider and slow them down and slow yourself down. So you're not going to be able to just sort of like slam into the lane the way you used to. So it slightly changes the dynamic a little bit. And it's definitely, it's a change that I really like racing. It's hard to describe unless you're feeling it and understanding how it works, but it is a subtle difference that these riders have been working with. So Kayla right now on the front, Modi just hanging onto her wheel, and just about 10 seconds back. Oh, sorry, I lied. Just about 3 or 4 seconds back is Allison and Baptista have closed down that gap. They are coming up and they're going to be able to get back, I think, to Kayla and Modi, because the road will flatten out and they'll still be benefiting from the descent. You can see in the list there, the speed differentials right now, Kayla 45, 46, and then you can see Baptista 47 and Allison 47. So this is a game where you watch those speed differentials and you can kind of understand if you have an opportunity to open up, to close up a gap, or even if a gap's going to open up more. And the gap on these courses, these tracks that have climbs, they tend to grow. So if you're not catching them on the descent, they're going to start it's going to start to stretch out a little bit here. So Kayla, Modi, Baptista, and Allison, just about 3 or 4 seconds between those two groups of two. And Kayla's starting to, you can see she does a little lean, but Modi's feeling it too. He lost the hat. He's always playful on camera. I enjoy watching him. but he does start to get his like smile grimace on where he's having a good time. He's working hard, and it's almost like he smiles through the pain. You ever go out to a race and you see someone who's smiling, you're like, what the heck are they smiling for? They're just like loving the effort. They're loving the work that they're doing. You can see there that they crossed the line. So now you can see the gap is closed. So this is the telepathy that he was talking about. Allison using her headset there to transmit to Modi, and Modi receiving the message saying, okay, Baptista's on the front. And here we go. Homer dropped his path of least resistance. Homer is looking strong, using that path of least resistance, using some of the riders in front of him to draft and see if he can't make up some of that time. He's only about 20 seconds back. He's not that far back. So it is possible for him to make up some time if he does a little dig. And I've watched Homer. He's like a light switch. Like he's got a solid engine. Like once you like flip the switch and he just hammers on those pedals, he just makes up so much ground, so steady. But with this group of 4 in front, they might be getting a lot of benefit of the draft. They might be moving a little bit faster, a little bit easier than him all alone without anyone to draft on. So it would be a heroic effort. So back on board here. You can see with Kayla Laguna, one of our top riders here, and Baptista, who's not on our stream, but one of the newer riders, 364 on the watts there. Allison, 250. You can see her benefiting from the draft. It does look like Kayla's tucking in a little bit, but whoa, around the corner here comes Modi with an attack, 1,000 equalized watts, 800 equalized watts. He just got out of the way and said, if you guys are just sleeping and practicing sucking wheels, I am out of here. And then Kayla answers with her weight lifted. I think that might be what she has left. And it's like, oh no, you're not. She was in the draft. She was benefiting from the draft, and you just saw Modi step to the side and absolutely hammer it down. So now he's testing the legs of Kayla. Allison does not have to do anything. She can just hang back, let Kayla do all the work to close the gap, and let her get tired. And then she can come back to her teammate after if Kayla can bridge this gap, which I'm pretty sure she can. She's just about 3 more seconds. But Modi is not backing down. 500 equalized watts and 700 equalized watts. He is just duking it out, left and right punch. And we've seen this before. The best thing about Modi and Kayla is like they're buds. They're totally buds, but they get into the game and it is the gloves are off. They just smack each other left and right. And Allison is doing her job as a good teammate there, back with Baptista, trying to conserve as much as she can, holding on to the draft, knowing that she is only about 5 seconds back. And if she needs to come back up and help her teammate, she can give a little effort. But right now she's letting Kayla do all of that work to try to bridge that gap because she has her rider. Modi is in the front. And she's going to let him go because he did have that first position. So if she can take some points away from Kayla, that's something that she could do. She dropped her razor's edge here. So she is trying to now maybe come up to close that gap. Oh, a little bump into Baptista, did not step around. Quantum shift is not on. So you will bump the wheel of the rider in front of you. So that power up, razor's edge and weight lifted was what she'd used there. She's with Baptista, but she does have to get up to Kayla, and maybe what she can do is take some points away from Kayla. So not only will Modi get the points if he can take this win, but if she can hold back Kayla, and maybe she can step up in the leaderboard. Because right now we've got, if everyone finishes the way that they are, we've got Modi, we've got Kayla and Allison, and so right now those places are going to be shifting around a little bit. Modi, Baptista, and Allison. So right now Allison is taking some points around from Kayla, knocking her to 4th. And putting herself in 3rd. So she does want to finish before Kayla. So that was a beautiful attack by Modi. Modi just hammers it, makes Kayla do some work, allows Allison to close it at it's not a comfortable pace, but he uses that attack to soften the legs of Kayla, to let Allison be able to have either help him in the front or be able to overtake her and take some points. Again, we're only halfway through the race here. We are at the top of the climb underneath that waterfall. We've got the descent, but there's still one more lap to go. So anything can happen right now. So we do have Uncrashable on. They're not going to be able to worry about those rocks that they're just riding through. They don't have to worry about the obstacles. They don't have to worry about overlapping wheels and taking one another down. They do have to worry about bumping. But at this point, we've been watching, and weightlifter has been used, razor's edge have been used, path of least resistance has been used. Everybody only had one of those. So if you're paying attention, right now, Marty's saying, wait a minute, does Baptista have those power-ups? Did they use theirs? So you're kind of asking yourself, wait, I don't remember. I know what I used. So it's kind of a little bit of a poker game to what people are going to be able to use. And sometimes the philosophy is to use those power-ups right out of the gate to attack, to make a break, to try to make some riders chase you. And sometimes people tend to hold on to their power-ups and try to save them to the end, try to use them only when they absolutely need them. But I think all of these guys have been just hitting each other so hard. They've been having to use the quantum shift countermeasure. They've had to use the razor's edge to close the gap. They've had to use the path of least resistance and weightlifted to get themselves up over the climb. So they've had no choice but to dump them and use them if they wanted to be in this front pack. So these guys really want the points. Right now, we're talking about a 2.5 multiplier. This lower event. So there are 2.5 points multiplier on this course here. Back on board with Homer, who is still absolutely bringing it. Now look at what he's done here. He's just about still 15 seconds back from Kayla. So Homer 181 on his equalized heart rate. He's 367 equalized watts. 400. Just never say die. He just always is hammering away. And that's the thing about Cade. You're always pushing. You're always pushing, thinking that if you can just leapfrog up one more, just get one more position up the way, then you can get those extra points here. Now back on board with Modi. Modi is looking strong. He knows he has one lap to go, and he's got 3 or 4 seconds on Baptista and Allison. So another attack that he just mounted here, and he is breaking and he's digging in. He's like, digging, I'm going to get away from you. And what he's trying to do, he's doing an attack. And will Kayla answer? This is the thing. Will Kayla answer and try to catch him? So is she going to let him get away and then just sprint it out with Allison and Baptista for a second, third, and fourth? Will this break stick? I don't think, doesn't look like Kayla's making the move. So this move, it looks like Marty's going to be able to walk away with those 6 or 7 seconds because Kayla is staying tucked in the draft. So I don't know if that's a strategy that she maybe has a power up her sleeve. Just, let Modi get tired. I'm not sure he can sustain that. But then Allison says, okay, if you're not going to answer, I'm going to overtake Kayla. Kayla must be really tired if she's not trying to close that gap. I'm going to punch it a little bit, use that path of least resistance, try to pick it up and try to make a break. But Kayla says, no, don't mistake my drafting. I was just recharging, sister. I have more in the legs and I am going to draft on Baptista, but I'm not going to let you get away. So Allison dropped that power up, dumped it there. Wasn't enough to get to Kayla. And maybe she was just testing Kayla's legs to see if Kayla had in it. And Kayla said, oh, I do, sister. I have some stuff in my legs. I am not going to let you make this break. Yet Modi is still now 9 seconds up the road from this chase group. And he is still going 367 equalized watts. So for viewers that are new to the program, new to CVRcade racing, there is a significance to the number 367. 367 is what everybody's max threshold is, what their 20-minute FTP, and that means functional threshold power. It's what you can sustain, the max you can sustain for 20 minutes. And so he is still over that now, 400, 500. He is absolutely just putting the nail in the coffin, saying, you are not going to catch up to me. I am not going to let that happen. And there's the grimace. There's the Modi grimace, 400 equalized watts, 190 on his heart rate. And here we are back on board with Kayla. So Kayla, Baptista, and Allison. So these guys are also Baptista 367 equalized watts, Kayla 400, Allison 300. So these guys are also not taking it easy. It's not that they can't produce more power. They're fatigued. They have made the choice that they're not going to go get Modi right now, and they are. This threesome here are going to sprint for second, third, and fourth unless they do something really significant when they come up over the top. But it might be too late for them, because if Modi is getting over the top before them, he's already accelerating, being able to pick up some more speed while they are still on the climb. So there's this ability that if they don't get to him before he crests the top, he's going to be able to open up that gap even a little bit further. So right now, Allison on board with her teammate, and then here is Kayla in the second spot right now. In currently, if they finish in this position, it will be Modi, Kayla, and Allison 1, 2, 3, and Baptista in fourth. So what you're looking at is the finishing position. If this is the finishing position, this is the finishing you will see in the placement after race 2. There's a leaderboard there for you. You can see how the points are being distributed if they finish. It's a real time. You can see the green column. That's if they finish in the finishing order. So that's always updating. That's always adjusting. And these riders can also see that in their game, in their UI, if they're following along. So Modi did lose his hat. I think he's going to probably put that back on, but he did not lose the tie. So he did say earlier the tie was how he was going to activate some of his Bluetooth power and power up. There he goes. There he goes. More power. There's a tap your heart there. My goodness, 189 equalized heart rate. Seems to be settling in a little bit here on the pace here. He's got 2.3 kilometers to go, but you can see that Kayla did drop here her path of least resistance. So the path of least resistance power up makes the rolling resistance on the road less for about 10 seconds. So what that means is that you're able to come up to speed a little bit faster. And she used that there over the top, dropping Allison back here about 5 or 6 seconds. So, what she was probably doing, Allison was like, okay, Kayla must be tired. She's not chasing Modi right now. But I think what Kayla was doing was doing a power recharge where she was able to just sort of get enough. Don't make a mistake of thinking that either of these two women are resting. They are absolutely shredding the legs off of each other. And one of the things where even though their watts are equalized, that their power curves are equalized, one of the things that they can do physiologically is as your fitness increases, you can recover from efforts faster. So depending on your training, depending on how hard you're willing to go and how often you're able to just kind of like get back in and dig in and recover. That's what we saw. We saw Kayla do a really quick recovery on that climb, tucked in the draft behind Baptista, knew that she needed a little bit of rest. Allison tried a little attack. It didn't stick. Kayla answered it and ended up gapping on Allison. And it looks like if she holds this 6 or 7 seconds on Allison, she'll flip spots there and take the second spot on the podium. Not on the podium yet, second spot in the Omnium so far for tonight. But there are 2 more crazy races ahead. So 0.9 kilometers to go for Modi Pekelny. It looks like he is going to take this race unless, he's not going to crash. Uncrashable is on. He's got 0.7 kilometers. He's just going to make sure he cruises to the end, maybe take some recovery time, not really recovery, but, because sudden lane change is up next. So kind of just let those legs spin out a little bit. Kayla is 18, 17 seconds back. But Kayla, with 0.5 kilometers to go, 15 seconds, she's still hammering 400 equalized watts, 179. She is not backing down. So, Madi's watching those gaps, making sure that he's protected with 0.4 kilometers to go. You can see the speed differential there. He's doing 38, 39. Kayla's doing doing 47. So, obviously she is closing down some of that time, but she's not going to have enough road to close it all the way down. But she is going to have enough road, I think, to maintain that 6 or 7 second gap from Allison. Allison, 700 equalized watts. What is going on here? She is making them out. 700. Let's cut to Allison. Monty's going to come across the line first, but Allison, 750 watts, 800 watts. She is coming after Kayla, 3 or 4 seconds. Kayla has to put down the hammer. Just 3 seconds to Kayla. Kayla, 500 watts, 700 watts. She knows she's coming, but Kayla is going to take it to the line, and Allison comes within 1 second of getting, you can see Kayla knew. She's like, I wasn't going to get Modi, but I did not want to have Allison pass me. And then here we go, watching Homer come across the line just a few seconds back from Kayla. Well done, Homer. Excellent job there. That was amazing. And here is Modi cooling down, hardly cooling down because he's got his tie and long sleeve shirts on here. Hey, Modi, how was that? Did you have a good race?
It was awesome. A ton of work. It was good team tactics again. Kayla and I were off the front, and I didn't like my odds with just the two of us. So Allison caught us, and we managed to stay with me and Allison and Kayla and Batista, and then made my move. And Allison did a good job of running interference and making some space for me to get that gap, and I just held it. It was a lot of work. Above threshold pretty much that entire second half of the second climb and entire third climb. Really fun, really exhausting, but good teamwork again. I couldn't have done that without Allison. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing. Just attack, and then Kayla answers, and then Allison brings it up, and then you attack again, and Kayla answers, and then finally you just both softened her legs enough that she just I was surprised she didn't go, but she kind of conserved a little bit and was able to take some of those points away from Allison. But right now we've got you in the top spot. We've got Kayla, we've got Allison, and Homer moves up to fourth. So coming into sudden lane change, and I'm going to move over to Kayla in a minute, but coming into sudden lane change, did you practice this course, Modi? Are you ready?
About 3 weeks ago, on a practice ride with some of the guys from Team CCC, we did some recon, but certainly not with Razor's Edge active. So all of that may be out the window. It's going to be interesting, and it's going to be sudden. The name of the track doesn't disappoint.
It is. All right. We are going to go ahead and check in with Kayla if she's available. You can see here coming across the line in our instant replay here. Hey, Kayla, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
That was incredible. Your ability to recover and get back and keep the points away from Allison. How are you feeling coming into sudden lane change after that massive effort?
Yeah, my legs are feeling it. My body's feeling it. But the good thing about sudden lane change, it's a lot in the mind. So just going to be try to just be cautious and stay in my lanes, watch those corners, watch the bots too, and just be really aware of everything that's going on, because so much happens at once in this. You think you're safe, and then half of a second later you don't. So yeah, just going to be really cautious on this course.
Well, so sudden lane change, 6 laps, 4.8 kilometers, 2.5 points multiplier, Razor's Edge as an ability, which is crazy on this course because you're going to have a lot of speed. But you do have 1 corner caper, and you also have 1 wind at your back. So how do you see those coming into play?
Yeah, the wind at the back's nice, even though we're going super fast already with the Razor's Edge. But just going to try to use that on the straightaway, and then whenever I can incorporate my corner keeper at the right time, then I'll execute that. But yeah, just going to be really mindful of the corners and those speeds with these power-ups.
Well, good luck to you. About 20 seconds to the race. I'll let you go. Maybe we can just take a little quick look at Allison there warming up on course. I know we have Homer, who's moved up to fourth place. So this is Allison, our third place right now. Current standards, Homer 3, 2, 1. Good luck, Homer. I like your odds on this one. All right, they come out of the gate here, fast and furious. Power-ups are being dropped, I think. Oh my goodness. And here we are on board with Modi. We do have wind at your back and corner caper being used as simultaneously. So the theory there is you use your corner caper, you have the wind at your back, you have Razor's Edge as an ability. So that way he wasn't going to crash out on the corner. It does look like we have a pile up between Kayla and Daniel. This is a good time for those folks that do crash to use the wind at your back if you can, to get back up to speed quickly. But you have to be careful about those corners because they do come up faster than you expect. It becomes a natural sort of cadence to these courses where you kind of get into the flow of it and you sort of know what's coming and you can judge your speed. But when you have Razor's Edge on this course, those corners come up faster. The obstacles when you come around the corner appear faster. And as Kayla did say, it is in the mind. You can see there her sliding out, executing that corner perfectly. But it does look like Frank, who was at the front here, did crash there. He did race earlier. He did an excellent job on this course. I think he had a couple crashes on this course, but this is one of his best courses along with Dark Matter Velo. Nigel's out in front. Kayla's in second. Modi is in third and Allison is in fourth. And just within those four riders that I said, there's just 5 seconds from that spread. Allison does go down, a little bit of a crash. Does she use her power up to get back up to speed? She doesn't. And then also you can see Kayla also suffered here from another crash. That is so frustrating. But we do still have Nigel on the front, who seems to be racing this almost perfectly here, because he's definitely getting that getting away up the road. 10 seconds now on Modi here, and then Kayla just a couple seconds, and then I'm sorry. Oh, never say someone's doing a perfect job because you curse them, Nigel. I owe you a bunch of Laffy Taffies. I've gotten to have a whole bowl of Laffy Taffy and Jawbreakers and all kinds of candy that I can give you for that. I'm very sorry about that. But it looks like he came right back up. He didn't lose too much time. He came right back up to speed. Still has a 2-second gap on Kayla, that's in second position. And despite Kayla's couple fumbles, it looks like she's found her flow. And definitely with watching. Okay, so I raced this earlier, and then I watched it back. And what was interesting about this race is that you have to let the course kind of do the work for you, because we're so used to in CVRcade just dig, 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 dig. Oh, Nigel goes down again. Oh, that's painful. Oh, and then Allison with the corner caper there. Oh, but it just wore out right before. That is a tough one to swallow. Oh, that's a bummer. Gets back up to speed. So Kayla here at the top spot. And so she has, again, found her cadence here. But what you do find is, like, right now, she's putting down the power, but less is kind of more, because you have that Razor's Edge ability. You are cutting through the air quicker. You're being able to go faster for somewhat less effort. And so on these corner speeds where they're between 44 and 48 kph, you're watching your speed, and you're also like needing to change the lanes. And some of these lane changes come up quick when you come around the corner. It's a blind corner. Back on board with Modi. Oh, and it does look like Allison did take another crash. Dang it. They're actually doing these crashes. They're doing better than the folks in the K zone. It was a crash-a-palooza earlier today when I raced, and I probably had 17 crashes on this course. And I am not even exaggerating. I was horrendous. These guys are doing really well. And what I like about what they're doing is that they're not, they're coming back quickly. They're recovering pretty quickly on those crashes. Allison goes down again, but Kayla is starting to open up the gap a little bit. So now she's got about 11 seconds, 12 seconds on Modi. So Kayla is showing the mental part. She did say coming into the race that her, that she was feeling the fatigue. She found her flow, had a couple early crashes, probably just from the physical fatigue and being amped up. And now she's found the flow slow, and she's just kind of going through with intense focus. You can see she's got one hand, she's leaning forward, she's got one hand on her keyboard, making sure that she's changing the lanes and that she's in the lane that she wants to be in before she gets to the obstacle. You have to anticipate. Here's the helicopter view. You have to anticipate where you want to be, because those corners are blind to you when you come around. So if you're watching your racing, you can change your camera view so that you can actually have the helicopter view, and that can be helpful because you can actually line your avatar up with the right lane that you want to be. So it's also part how you set up your user interface, and the way that these riders can change their point of view is by pressing the C button, and that changes their camera angle. Oh, it does look like Allison has gone down. Allison, that's and then Daniel goes down, and we do have a number of crashes happening out on course. And one of the things on sudden lane change is that you have to watch out for these respawning riders so that they crash. It's not just the obstacles that are in front of you on sudden lane change. It's also if someone is crashing, you want to clear the lane. You want to not get caught in the congestion. And with 0.8 kilometers to go, Kayla is out in front. And unless she makes a serious combo of mistakes, she just dumped her wind at the back power up, the one that she has here, and hopefully, she doesn't even need the corner caper. I was thinking she had picked up a lot of speed. So she did say she was going to use that on a straightaway to be mindful of the corners, get as much speed as she can. So she's definitely playing that right. 0.5 kilometers to go. You can see her watts are down, but her speed is up, and Allison takes another little bit of a digger, and she digs out. Right now on the leaderboard, if everyone finishes with Kayla in first, Nigel's moved his way into second, overtaken Modi. If we finish in this position, Kayla comes on top, and then Modi will be in second, and Allison in third, and Homer would still be in fourth if everyone finishes in this position for this particular race in the Omnium. But we still have one more race to go after this one. Again, sudden lane change, 2.5 points multiplier, 0.1 kilometer to go. You can see here, Kayla focused the last couple bends in the road. Whoa, that was close. You can see it on her face. Daniel was changing lanes. Yeah, that was tough. So that's another rider that she was lapped, but I think the lapped riders are ghosted. So she would not have been knocked down by him, but it still throws off your mental game a little bit. But here we are back. We've got Nigel here coming across the line here, and it does look like Modi had a crash, but is Frank gonna catch him? No, Monty comes across the line, and he did crash. No, I'm wrong about that. All right, so he's got just a couple more bends to go, and then he will come across the line. I thought I saw your list, your name go gray in the list, and then on his heels, not too far, is Frank. Well done to Frank, and here comes Allison on her final corner, coming around to the finish line, and then Daniel won't be too far behind, followed by Homer. So that is the race, and here is our instant replay. You can see Kayla in the zone, super focused here, kind of just playing it. Once she found that rhythm, once she found her cadence and locked it in, she kind of had a you have a certain, pedal stroke. There's a certain resistance level on the pedals that you kind of keep the speed going. And that right at the end, Daniel was a lapped rider across in front of her. You could see in her face that she was just like, whoa. And then there's the happy girl coming across the line. And after those two early crashes, hey, Kayla, that must feel good that you found that happy place in sudden lane change. Talk me through that.
Yeah, that worked out. In the beginning, Beth, I was a little bit nervous because I had those two crashes, and I was like, I just said it was a mind game, so I think I was psyching myself out right there. But got into the flow of things and kind of got the crashes out of the way, and then as soon as I found my rhythm, I was just trying to stay in it, and then tried to not overcook it and just try to be steady, because I saw that was just gaining a little bit more of a gap time between the other riders. So I thought if I was just steady and just keeping that pace under the 44, that it would just pull me through for the end. So that worked out. It was a 2.5 multiplier. So that worked out really well. Very happy.
Well, Well, congratulations. So now that puts you on the top spot here going into race, the fourth and final race of the Omnium. This one is Dark Matter Spire, 3 laps, 7.2 kilometers, 1 inertia, wind at your back, and a weight lifted. So you've got Modi and Allison and Homer still holding that fourth position. How do you feel going into this, into Dark Matter Spire?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, it's great that I'm on top of the leaderboard right now, but that does not mean that I am any way solidified that chance of first place position. We got, like the difference, 163 and then 162.5. That's, oh my gosh, that's so close. So no one has it safe right now. So I'm just going to try to give it everything I got and just work with the group and work with those power-ups. We got weight lifted and inertia. So going to try to use those pretty wisely as I can with the 3 laps that we have on Dark Matter Spire.
Yeah, the points, I was just reading that even if it was 168 and 162.5, but it's actually 163, my eyes read it wrong. So like you are half a point ahead. That is an insane point spread. And even to Allison, only it looks like only 31 to Allison from Modi. So this is going to be a tight race all the way around. 52 seconds to go before we go. I'll let you get your head in the game. Congratulations on that last race. I know that Modi is probably talking, if not in person, but through his tie or telepathy to Modi. You ready for this course?
I'm ready. This is a fun course. And don't forget, we've got wind. This is going to be really interesting. This is as close of a leaderboard as I've ever seen. So don't know what's going to happen. I'm excited. My heart rate's already going, and we haven't started.
Well, 15 seconds to go. I'll let you regain your composure. But yes, there is wind out on course and you feel it. I raced it earlier and I was digging in and I was like, why am I not going faster? So what we'll see here in 3, 2, 1, let's see what happens out of the gate. They are digging up Allison up out of the saddle, digging in, knowing how close that leaderboard is, going to try to gather as much points for her and for her teammates. Daniel is also out in front. So Daniel could be helping the team cognition rider here. So it will be Daniel, Modi, and Allison, all team players. So Kayla finds herself without a teammate here because it does look like Frank, her teammate, has not joined. Oh, he has. Okay. So right now in this front group, though, she does not have Frank with her. So this is kind of 3 against 1. Kayla cannot let up. So with inertia and weight lifted, we saw in the earlier races of when those 2 power-ups are being used, but you just get one of them on this 3-lap course. There, as you can see in the map, there is a little bit of a bump on this race. So you do climb up and come back down. And then here we go. Modi does use his power up, the inertia. The way that the inertia works is you hit the power up and the speed that you have when you hit it is the speed that you hold. So that might have, that might be where he wanted to use it, or maybe not. But he's got right beside Kayla there. But if you can use that power up when you're coming up the hill, you don't lose the speed because you actually take the speed from the straightaway, get that speed sped up, and you can carry it up over the climb. So that's on lap 1 of 3. And this course is so fun to race. You can see here on board with Allison, she's tucking into that draft there of her teammate, making the nice connection, not bumping into it, because if you do slam into the back of another rider, you do lose some pace. He's going to step around Kayla here. And Kayla is still saying, okay, go ahead, I'll take your wheel. And I don't see a big attack yet, but I do see Modi doing, well, he just did 500, maybe that's just to get around here. But Daniel in the front, 194 on his equalized heart rate. And then Modi, 175, trying to benefit from the draft of his teammate here. saying thank you so much, Daniel. You are helping me with my placement. You're helping Allison. That's some teamwork right there that we're seeing. And we're seeing a lot of these teams form on CVRcade. We're seeing these friendships, and we're seeing these team tactics being played. And it started with CVRcade team, and with the CVR team, it started with Cycling Hub team, and then we see it with CCC, and we see it with Team Cognition. We see it with Velocity Vixen. All of these riders that are getting in here, and some of the teams are building with more and more experienced players. It's been so fun to see how they work together and how these team dynamics are come into play in ways that we've never seen in any online racing ever. So it's a whole new thing, a whole new dynamic here. Kayla is got the pain face on. She's a couple seconds back from Modi and Daniel, and then Allison is right there with her. So we will see what these two have, if they can bring it back. So if they can bring back those 2 seconds to Modi, I think they can. You can see here on the helicopter view where they're just on each other, trying to keep that draft, trying to not bump and benefit from as much efficient riding as you can possibly do, because you want to try to save something in your legs, because you have a weight lifted and you have an inertia. So we've seen people use those in combination on this course, so will be interesting to see what happens around lap 2 and lap 3 here. Back on board with Kayla, you can see from the side view here, holding the front line, and then whoa, she goes around her. Says, okay, I thought I was going to go around, or maybe she slid out there. These corners are uncrashable is not an ability, but the lane speed is pretty high. There we go. Allison was testing her legs, drops her weight lifted power up, and then she's actually there is a little bit of the bump in the road here. They are coming back around, and then Kayla answers with her power up, saying, I'm not going to let Allison get too far ahead of me, but Allison does manage to get a 4 or 5 second gap. Allison brings it to the front. She gets a good gap on Kayla. I was misreading that. Okay, and then Modi says, okay, Allison, I'm coming too. She was able to slingshot around Kayla and just come right back to the front with Modi. So right now, if she can finish in front of Kayla and take away those points, it does still look like, if they finish in this position, that Kayla drops down to second place. Thank you very much for the leaderboard there. So Madi, right now, if they finish in this order, you've got Madi in the front, Kayla in second, and Allison in the third spot. And the points between them are just 13 and a half points between them. It's so close right now. Allison in the front, 189 on that equalized heart rate. Modi just 3 or 4 seconds back, working with Daniel, and then Kayla about 10 seconds back from that. So these three teammates rather, are doing the work to leave Kayla in the dust, and Kayla wasn't able to stay with them. It was just one attack. First Daniel pulling Modi attacking, then Allison dropping her power up and bringing herself to the front, leaving Kayla back by about 15 seconds here. And again, I've seen Kayla make up some serious ground here, but there's 3 kilometers to go. And this is the end of a race series here. They have been out on course for nearly an hour with just aggressive racing, aggressive tactics. It goes by the quickest, but it also feels like the longest. It's like a time warp. It's like your legs feel like they've done the work of 2 hours in 1 hour's time. So it's like a super efficient workout. 2.7 kilometers to go. And you can see that high cadence work here by Marty, who's taking a turn on the front. 400 equalized watts back at threshold. This man is a machine. Allison taking a little bit on the draft here from his teammates. So these 3 can just take turns drafting off each other. And if you look at the list here, Allison tucked in behind the wheel of Modi. Modi's doing 354, and she's just doing just a little bit less for the same speed. 40 kph that they're going right now, and you can see Daniel is dropping back just 3 or 4 seconds, but he has done the work for his team. He pulled Modi up the hill, and these guys have showed excellent teamwork consistently through the Omnium tonight, through all of the races. They have been just solid together. It's been so so fun to watch. But Kayla is a never say die kind of person. She is still digging in and working. She's just about 15 seconds, 16 seconds back. And she is at 344 equalized watts, 43 kph right now. So right now, oh, did I read that wrong? I'm sorry, 44 kph is just changing around, jumping around a little bit. So Kayla can maybe make up some time, but she's got 1.8 kilometers to go. So I don't think she's going to be able to make up that ground, but she is using the bot in front of her. Back on board here with Modi, he has 500 equalized watts, 178 on that equalized heart rate. Allison right behind him here. You can see on the helicopter view. Man, I love Dark Matter Spire helicopter view. I think it is so dang beautiful. I love it. It's so good. And then Modi, 450 equalized watts, 1.5 kilometers to go. He is just continuing to hammer it over the top. Just absolutely a machine, just bringing it. Allison right behind him, not letting it away. You can see the wind out on course here. If the riders can see, you might not be able to see it on your screen, but they have a headwind right now, and they're driving into it, and they can feel it in their trainer in the terms of resistance. And so you can see him still digging in 350 equalized watts, 1.1 kilometers to go. But the good news is that he's going to start that descent, and he knows that Kayla is still a little bit on that climb. So if Kayla's on that climb coming over the top, he's going to have a little bit of chance. It looks like Kayla has come over the top. She's not. She's on the flat part now. But sometimes when you have the gap and you time the gap right, and you're coming down the backside of a climb, and the chase group is coming up, you can really open a gap up on the descent because of the speed differential of the person behind you is going slower, and you're able to really like hitting it down the hill. So there's no coasting down any of these hills in CVRcade, because you're always trying to use it to your advantage. If you have someone chasing you, you want to open up enough of a gap so that you can get them on the descent. 0.6 kilometers to go here for Modi, who's had an absolutely rockin' night. That yellow banana, it's not a banana, but I called it banana, but the man in the yellow hat, Curious George's friend, the tie with the Bluetooth power-ups, I mean, that all worked for you, man. That really worked for you. And of course, we've got Allison not in costume. Allison always wears the Aero helmet. So maybe there's something that she's got that's costume, but this is just how Allison races. This is Allison being Allison, and she is cool as can be in her Aero helmet, in those glasses, just always being just completely rocking it. So now we've got Daniel back. Ooh, what just happened here? Did I just see that correctly? Daniel in the front. Oh my goodness, comes across the line first. Well executed, Modi. That just while I was talking about Allison's awesome hair, Daniel comes around and takes the win. And then Modi is coming across the line. Wonderful with Allison. Well done, team cognition. I was not on the comms. And then further on down the line, you can see Homer coming. Finishes strong. Homer, well done, my friend. Just solid throughout that effort. Here's the replay here with Allison here on board. That was I was talking about how cool that was. And then we had Daniel. Monty worked his tail off. Daniel came across the line, and then it was with Allison as well as Modi coming side by side. Modi just in front of Allison. So on the board, the leaderboard is Modi takes the top spot. Kayla in second, Allison third. These are our provisional results, of course. We do have to do the score at the end of the night, but that is our 4-race Omnium. Modi, wow. Tell me, how did you have any legs left? How did you have any legs left after your heroic efforts tonight?
I didn't. That was all Daniel and Allison. I was toast. I screwed up my power-up sequence. I was using my weight lifted in inertia on the first climb to try to get a gap in TT, because I knew that Kayla was tired as well. But Kayla put on a perfect block, and I got locked in at like 35 kilometers an hour with the inertia, and I thought I was toast. But Daniel pulled for like a lap and a half at at 125% threshold and got me the gap. And then Allison came through with her inertia on the climb and pulled me for another half lap. So that was all Daniel and Allison, and they took me for a ride. It was all teamwork. It was great.
I am loving this teamwork develop. I'm loving watching what team cognition is doing. The positive vibes, the teamwork. It's just been amazing to watch, and it's been so amazing to watch Daniel come up to speed in this game so quickly, and that's to the benefit of you guys. He benefits from your experience, and that's really awesome to watch. And he absolutely is such a team player and such a good guy. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to interview him. I know he has lesser of an internet, but really great to see you all out on course. So congratulations on that win here. I was wondering about that inertia, because I did see that it was that you were locked in at 37. I know that spot on course you can get up to like 47.
I started at like 57 and was coming through that climb, and Kayla moved perfectly and blocked right at the perfect time. And with a perfect block, it'll knock your speed and lock you, even if you have an inertia. It's a really cool gameplay dynamic, and she pulled it off perfectly. I think we should call this course Daniel Matterspire. He like owned it.
He did. He did
and
own it.
What I was trying to do with my power up is exactly what Allison pulled off perfectly on the second lap when she came through at like almost 60 kilometers an hour over the climb. It was really awesome.
She did pop to the front really fast, because I was like, oh, wait, she just came around Kayla, because she was behind Kayla, and she dug in, and like it was like instant. That was absolutely flawless and amazing to witness.
Yeah, it's not Kayla's fault. I've been in her position. I mean, with two really talented teammates working with me, it's almost impossible. And the hard work that Daniel and Allison put in would have demoralized anyone. Kayla put in a superhuman effort. She really nailed the course before. So did Homer. I didn't have it. I tried to keep it upright on the previous course, but it all came down to the work of teammates on the last course, and Cade really highlights that. So it was a lot of fun to be riding with a group today.
Well, congratulations to you. Congratulations to your team. Wonderful teamwork. It's been great to see. Let's check in with Kayla, who, despite not having the team, still managed to take the second step on the night. You continue to impress me, Kayla, with your grit, with your style, with your just your heart that you race with. So how were you feeling when in the middle of this race? I mean, it just like there was no backing down. You never backed down.
Yeah, no, that was it was a lot. I thought I was trying to stay with the group and whatnot, but I just didn't have it and whatnot. But I was trying to, but I was in a lot of pain that last race. So just trying to recover, but gave it everything I got. And congratulations to Modi. That was a great win. I mean, we were neck and neck going into that race, so I didn't know how it was going to play out. But Team Cognition, they pulled out, had the numbers, and they did some great team tactics today. And then Modi just had the strength, and yeah, it was just some great racing all the way around today.
Well, congratulations again on the night. That was some really fun racing. I do think that the ears tonight did help you. You can see here a replay of Kayla coming up, dropping her power up, coming up on Dark Matterspire on the second lap. You can see that move here by Allison, who hits the inertia up to speed and slingshots around. And then you can see as they come across the line here on their second lap, working together here. And the teamwork, as we've heard, that I've talked about, that we heard Modi talk about, it's just been amazing to see how these guys have continued to play and develop, and knowing that Kayla had not a teammate in there, as Modi said, that she was able to finish there. And you can see here at the end of Dark Matterspire, the fourth and final race of the evening, after some pretty tough racing, Allison and Modi coming together pretty much side by side. So as we continue to watch this final replay, we will say from the top of the race, this was Modi's first race when he did still have his Halloween costume on in full. He said he was going to keep the arrow helmet or arrow hat on, but he didn't need it. He was able to shed that down, but he started and set the tone for the night, coming out on top on the first race here. on the night, but that also was some teamwork between Allison and Daniel, where they played that race to perfection, hands in the air, his tie there that he was playing here. And again, starting out on Temple Run, using the Razor's Edge and the quantum shift out of the gate, was able to really set the tone here, and then making sure that she wasn't being left behind. Kayla played her best, did not want to get blocked by Modi. And then Allison, of course, just the team player here in cognition of them all working together. Halfway through, we did see a break away from Modi that Kayla was just not able to answer. And then Allison and Kayla were neck and neck, kind of playing a little bit of cat and mouse game, drafting up each other. They connected with Baptista. It was a 3-person chase group for quite a long time, while Madi was making his way further up the road, getting away again, using those Bluetooth power-ups on his tie. But at the end, he was never to be caught. And it was actually Kayla who did end up overtaking Allison in that race. But Allison came through strong at the end, almost overtaking Kayla. This was one of my favorite moments where she dug in and came within 1 second of Kayla. So Kayla never had it in the bag because Allison still had enough in her legs to finish just not even one bike length behind Kayla. Then we went to sudden lane change where we had a few crashes off the top with Kayla and Daniel there. Kayla was saying how mental this particular course was. What makes it even more challenging was that there was a power-up that was as an ability called Razor's Edge, which made you cut through the air even faster and come up to speed. So the speeds that you were on this course, you had to really watch so that you wouldn't slide out in the corner. You see Allison there used her corner caper on the first corner, but it didn't solve for the second corner. So she took a digger there, and you have to just try to make up from those crashes. There was a wind at your back power up on this track. So that did mean that if you did crash, you could use that wind at your back and come back up to speed. And then what happened was after Kayla had those couple early crashes, she just locked it in. She just got in the zone, found the flow, and then raced the second half to perfection. And then at the end there, that one lapped rider that she crossed in front of, she almost thought she was going to go down, but she played that 3/4 of that race to perfection. Then we go to Dark Matter Spire, where Modi does use that inertia power up, and he got blocked by Kayla, slowed down the speed, so he wasn't able to slingshot around. We see Kayla here using her weightlifting power up to not want those riders to get away, but they did manage to get a little bit of a break, a little bit of a lead on it. And this beautiful move by Allison where she dropped inertia, slingshot around to the front, Daniel pulling Modi most of the way on the second lap, working together to close it down and to seal the deal for cognition to finish at the front of the race in 1, 2, 3 position. And as our friend Modi said, this should be called Daniel Matter Spire instead of Dark Matter Spire, because he absolutely crushed it on this course for his team and did a really great job for himself as well as he moves his way up the ranks with CVRcade Racing. And that is actually going to do us for our Omnium here in Zone T. We had a lot of great racing. Happy Halloween. I hope you've enjoyed it. We had a little bit of fun tonight out on course, and we will be back on Saturday for some more CVRcade Racing. If you do like what you're seeing, please like and follow us. And of course, you can download the game at CVRcade.com. And so until then, we will see you on Saturday. Thanks for watching.
But no, Beth, yours goes crashing down. Determination, the suffering, the ability to... And she's unleashed everything in this attack. See just how much that win means to him. All the marbles. Kayla versus Allison, and to the line. Kayla Laguna takes the victory.